into it, bro. Okay. So, Diddy trial day 10. A thread. Fresh off the heels of a holiday weekend, the prosecution calls his next witness to the stand. Capricorn Clark. Clark is a former employee of Diddy who started Bad Boy Records 2004 to 2020. Okay. Last week, the jury heard from Cassie's mom, former executive assistant of Diddy, Kid Cudi, and more. Okay. Okay. The prosecution questioned Clark about an incident in which Diddy threatened her. Clark testified she was walking through Central Park with Diddy and his head of security, Uncle Paulie, one night when Diddy revealed he knew Clark had previously worked for Suge Knight. Okay, we got Suge Knight too. Clark testified Diddy told her that since she had worked for Suge Knight, if anything happened, he might have to kill her. Clark said she took the threat seriously. Clark testified that she had previously seen Diddy with a firearm when he was at her home. Also told his manager that he was issued with 50 Cent. Mr. Combs told Chris Lightly he had a gun. He had a problem with 50 Cent. Okay. Clark also testified someone once threatened to throw her into the East River for stealing. Crazy. She said she was tasked with bringing 3 pieces of high-end jewelry to the airport, but the jewelry went missing. Clark said she was questioned for 3 hours about missing jewelry. She was forced to take a lie detector test. Crazy. She testified she arrived at an NYC building she didn't recognize, and large men threatened to throw her into the East River if she failed the test. Diddy's former assistant, George Kaplan, testified that last week that he was also accused of stealing and was forced to take a lie test on 2 occasions. Oh, bro, just giving everybody. Yo, he really was like doing whatever he wanted, bro. Lie detector test, bro. Twice? That's crazy. Clark testified she worked 20 hours a day. Caused her to develop hair loss and stress condition. She was testified typically work from 7 to 4 a.m. 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. $55,000 salary. Job consisted of making sure he was fed, accompanying him to the studio, picking up a dry cleaning, and more. Clark also said she did not get paid overtime, although the head of HR provided her with paperwork providing that Diddy owed her $80,000. How did Mr. Combs respond? He ripped up the paper. Yo, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. He ripped up the paper. He said 80,000. No, that's wild. That's wild, bro. 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. though? That's wild, bro. Like 7 a.m. to the night. Back to the morning, 4 a.m. That's wild. That's crazy, bro. How was you even up for that many hours though? Like, that's crazy. What was you doing for 20 hours? Anyways, prosecutors began questioning Clark about Diddy's hotel stays. Clark testified she also responsible for setting up the hotel room, which he typically stayed in with Kim Porter once a week. Clark said part of her job was set up the hotel camera room. A hotel room with supplies was a camera, bottles of baby oil, lube, and drugs. Clark also testified Diddy would book weekly hotel rooms for himself and Cassie where they would use IV drip for several days to help them recover from drug use. Bro, what kind of drugs you using that need you IV for days, bro? Like, what? That's wild, bro. I'm surprised, like, this dude look like all of this stuff, bro. I'm surprised he even, like, he don't look like, cracked out or, like, he looked fine, bro, which is crazy, bro. Hey, black really don't crack, bro. Imagine how many times he took ecstasy, how many times he took crazy drugs. He don't look like a drug addict. That's the crazy part. But when you got money, you could do certain things. But continue. Diddy wants forced Cassie to move at his command in front of other women. Clark testified that in the presence of herself and 2 other women, Diddy called Cassie and gave her various commands such as walk over there, sit down, turn around. Oh, like a dog, bro. Damn. Once Cassie obeyed the commands, Diddy turned to let women stay. You bitches won't do that? That's why you don't have a man. Wow. Clark says she responded with, your motherfucking friend. Clark testified she was asked to obtain drugs for Diddy. She said that during a trip to the south of France, Diddy asked her to get cocaine. When Clark asked who the drugs were for, Diddy responded, not me. Clark said she obtained the cocaine through a security guard and testified Diddy had her retrieve prescription drugs in her name, which he would pay for. This is crazy, bro. Like, he did some crazy drugs, but he don't look, I don't know, he don't look cracked out. He don't look drugged up. It's crazy. Capricorn Clark broke down in tears while testifying about a 2006 incident at Diddy's home in Star Island. Star Island, bro. Oh, Miami? Hey, man, that's like, you know, I don't go nowhere, bro. I never heard of Star Island. Anyways, Diddy, 2000. So Star Island, she said Diddy pushed her multiple times trying to force her out of the house after a chef cursed at her for asking if they had turkey bacon in the residence. Clark responded, I hated her, and the chef told Diddy. Oh, he's snitching, but the chef snitch. Yo. Clark testified Diddy forcibly shoved her again and again, saying, if you hate it here, get the fuck out of here. Clark said she quit her job but later returned to the company to work for Cassie. See, this is why people say, like, you know, they not victims, because you came back, bro. Why would you come back? Like, you can find nothing better to do than be with these people? That's wild. Clark, who managed Cassie image and career moves, testified she took Cassie to purchase a burner phone once she learned Cassie was dating Kid Cudi. She said Cassie told her about the relationship via text, which is a bad idea because Diddy paid for both of their phones. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. I don't. Clark said they went to Best Buy to get a new phone because she feared Cassie was going to get us all killed. Who's us all? Bro, like, why are you still here, bro? You can fear for your life. You come back, bro. They allegedly threatened to kill Kid Cudi. Okay. Capricorn Clark testified about the morning of December 22nd, 2011. She said Diddy banged on her apartment door with a firearm, asking questions about Kid Cudi. She said Diddy was visibly furious after finding out about Cudi and Cassie and said, get dressed. We're going to kill this nigga. Clark said she didn't want to go, and Diddy replied, I don't give a fuck what you want. Get dressed. Clark said once they arrived at Cudi's home, Diddy and security guard Ruben entered the house from the front door. Clark said she was left in the car, so she called Cassie on her burner phone to alert her. Cassie was with Cudi at the time. Clark said Diddy came back to the car, took her phone, and called her last number on the call. This sounds like a movie. This is crazy, bro. This sounds like a movie, bro. Like, really? Why would you? Let me continue. He took my phone and called the last number. Then I saw Cudi driving up. Mr. Combs saw my face and said, there's that nigga right there. We drove off and saw police driving the other way around Cudi's house. Wow, so he really was gonna do it, bro. Okay. Clark testified Diddy ordered her to call Cassie and tell her that, Clark testified Diddy ordered her to call Cassie and tell her that Diddy had me and wouldn't let me go. So Cassie, okay. Clark said Cassie agreed and asked her to pick her up. What? So Cassie agreed and asked her to pick her up. Once Clark picked Cassie up, she said they both went to Diddy's house. He allegedly told me not to speak to the police and asked them to convince Kid Cudi not to tell the police he was involved in the break-in. Capricorn Clark testified she witnessed Diddy brutally beat Cassie after Kid Cudi break-in. Capricorn said that after she and Cassie arrived at Diddy's home, he repeatedly kicked and beat Cassie. Clark tearfully testified she saw Diddy come at Cassie 100% full force, kick her in the back while she was in fetal position. Clark said Diddy told her, "If you jump in, I'm gonna fuck you up." She added Diddy's security guards did not intervene. Okay. So this was all Diddy's work, bro. Clark says she called Cassie's mom, Regina Venture, to tell her about the abuse of Clark. "He's beating the shit out of your daughter. I'm in over my head. Please help her. I can't call the police, but you can." Following the break-in, Cuddy's car was set on fire. Clark testified she was contacted by arson investigators but hung up because she just wanted this to be over. Clark said Diddy questioned her about how much she knew Cassie could erase shit that day allegedly. "I should kill you bitches." This is crazy. Before taking a break, Clark testified that Diddy fired her. She said that while she was accused of not properly putting in her vacation time, she believed she was fired due to not informing Diddy about Cassie's relationship. Clark said she lost everything, including her health insurance, 401k, her house, and her car. Clark said Diddy told her she would never work again and he would make me kill myself. Wow. What is this? Like, health insurance, 401k, her house, and car. So, like, why does it sound like a job, bro? Like, why does it sound like a real career? Like, he gonna take the, yo, he has so much power, bro. Take your car, health, yo. This is crazy. All right. This is not it. It's not it. It's not it. Continue. Let's do this one. Go back to beginning. Okay. Capricorn Clark admits she continued working with Diddy weeks after allegedly kidnapped. Compares Cassie to Whitney Houston. Okay. Under cross-examination, the defense presented Clark with emails from January 2012. Whoa, wow. January 2012, showing she still continued to work for Bad Boy Records after incident at Kid Cudi's house. That's what, like, you still there. Why are you still here, bro? I don't get it. You didn't do nothing wrong. You're not connected to nothing. Why are you still there? When asked if she continued working with Diddy after she was kidnapped and forced to go to Cudi's house, she said yes. Okay. Agnilifio presented more emails Clark sent to Diddy in years after the break-in. In September 2014 message, Clark seemingly wrote Diddy seeking for forgiveness, saying, "One day you'll forgive me. Anyway, be well." Wait, Clark seemingly wrote Diddy seeking forgiveness, saying, "One day you'll forgive me anyway. Be well." In an email from February 2015, Clark agreed she wrote to Diddy saying, "Your grace period to be mad at me has surpassed the agreed time, LOL." What? Another email from Clark to Diddy spoke about a woman. Clark wrote, "She was my friend. She was never my friend. She wanted me gone, I realized." When Agnilifio questioned if this email was about Cassie, Clark became emotionally impressed that the situation was complicated. "I felt that I was protector." How you was protector? All you had to do was leave, bro. I don't get it. All you had to do was leave. The jury is back and cross-examination is continuing with Capricorn Clark. Diddy's defense attorney, Mark Agnilifio, asked Clark about what she observed about Cassie when she developed a romantic relationship with Diddy. Clark, she was being a sweet model to being a feisty girlfriend. She went from being a sweet model to a feisty girlfriend. Clark added that while she thought Cassie had talent, she wasn't at the level of Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. She said Cassie was more of a studio musician who needed things equalized. Crazy. All right, we got more, but I'm tired of talking, bro. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about that, though. Let me know if y'all think she's, clearly she could have left, but she didn't. But at the same time, she didn't do anything wrong. She was kidnapped. She was threatened. So she's not in the wrong, but like, you can't blame him because you stayed and you wanted to be in this, bro. But let me know what y'all think, bro, because this is crazy. Like, you stay. Let me see the comments. Let me see some comments. Let me see a little bit. Let me see. The fact Cassie came to save Clark knowing she was gonna get beat on when she got there shows her heart. I hope nobody skip over the fact that she had Kim was involved in the freak offs. Ever since he made the band walk to get that cheese skittles. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. This is crazy.